Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! Today, it's going to be a match between Sky and xpfk here on Fighting Spirit. That was an interesting website. I wonder why he typed that. Alright, so top left-hand corner is the purple Protoss player. It is Sky. And in the bottom right, it is the orange Terran player, xpfk. I looked for this dude on the internet and on the Smurf lists, but I have no idea who this is. But I assume he's a Korean because he gives Sky a pretty good game, according to the length of this replay. So, this is your first time here, welcome aboard. I just cast Brood War 5 times a week in the Remastered client, sometimes in the cartoon skin from Carbot Animation. And yeah, I read your comments, people who hate that skin, but I'm just doing it once a week and maybe even less than that. So, I don't know. Just don't click on it if you don't want to see it. Okay? Deal? Deal. Alright, so it's a PvT here. And purple versus orange. Yes. Is this a troublesome combination of colors for colorblind people? Let me know in the comments if you're colorblind and whether or not this combination gives you some trouble, and I'll write it down, and we will see. I can do this as well. Oh, hang on a second. Never mind. This is both yellow. Never mind. Can't do that for some reason. Why is it both yellow? That should give me blue-red on this replay. Sometimes weird stuff happens in StarCraft land, man. This game is 20 years old, yo. Speaking of old games, so one of my coworkers was telling me about a game he played when he was a kid. He described it as a third-person RTS. So you're third person, like in Tomb Raider, like old school Tomb Raider, or like Uncharted, or things like that. Or, you know, what am I thinking? The Witcher? But then you're also controlling other minions, and like running around trying to destroy your enemies, and there's magic involved, and archers, and very fantasy-like. And he's like, and I don't know what it's called, and I've tried looking for it in the past, I can never find it at all, and you know what I'm talking about? And I'm like, no, man, I have no idea what that is. Sounds cool, though. Kind of interested. And then he goes back to his desk, and literally 4 minutes later comes back and goes, it's called Sacrifice. And I'm like, dude, you just told me you've looked for this multiple times and can't figure out what it was called from years ago. He's like, it's from like 1998, 1997. I was like, oh, that's crazy. It's called Sacrifice. And I don't know what he did this time. His Google Foo was on point or something. But he found it. He found the game. It's called Sacrifice. That was it. It's on Good Old Games. It's on Steam. Looks interesting. Apparently, well, what's funny is another older fellow who works with us. We're about the same age. We're like mid-30s. Another guy who's probably 45 or so was like, did you just say Sacrifice? You're not talking about the video game, are you? And we're like, yes, actually. Yes, we are. So the old guy and, well, he's not an old guy, but the older guy and my coworker had a really nice conversation about it and sharing memories, and it was all nostalgic. Just made me laugh. So apparently there is an RTS from the year 2000 called Sacrifice that is third person. And I don't know if you build things. I think it's more of a real-time strategy in that you command troops. You're running around this open field, trying to murder people, trying to like go through mountain passes and stuff. It looks interesting. It really does. Seems really difficult though. The older guy said that he tried to do LAN parties with it back, 2000, 2003, 2002. And people were just never too interested in it because, it was hard. It was hard to play. So, I don't know. That's how that works sometimes, I guess. Anyway, how are we dealing with the early Dragoon harass? xpfk with your APM of 260. Well, glad you asked, Falcon. And deal with it by going for a couple Marines, 3 Marines specifically, not expanding early, not going for a bunker, and just trying to get out a tank as fast as Terranly possible. Meanwhile, Sky not expanding either. Going for the 1 base opening here. Might try expanding sooner rather than later. He did make a quick zealot early on. I don't know where you're trying to go, my guy. Ka-cha! Ka-cha! Can I look? Too fast. Perfect speed. Alright, that's your speed check for today. So the Marines can handle zealots if they're micro properly. It takes about 1,000 hits for a Marine to kill a zealot. They do a little bit better against Dragoons, which is why Dragoons don't like fighting against Marines all that much. It's not a good trade for them. We can try to expand now. I like it. Ooh, Spider Mines coming out. Spider Mines can defend pretty well against Dragoons too. So no bunker here from xpfk. If you know who this is, by the way, let me know in the comments because I have no idea. I've never seen this name before, and I don't recognize it. Obviously, the internet doesn't know who it is either. Dude, Sky, be careful. Don't lose that Dragoon, man. You can't lose that early Dragoon, or else it's going to be really hard for you to follow up with any kind of pressure. But as it stands, I'm not sure what you get either, honestly. We got Spider Mines on the way. We got Vultures in production at the factory. Sky's expanding at the same time the Terran player is. I think their expansions are fairly close. Oh, yeah, very close and percentage complete. An SCV running around over here gets killed by a couple Dragoons. But as it stands, it's going to be really hard to do much with Spider Mines running around and a tank and these Marines. All these things are really good against Dragoons. So, no early harassment at all here from Sky, which is cool. It's totally fine. We can roll with that. Robotics facility coming on in, maybe for Reaver drops, maybe for an observer. Worried about, well, I guess it's probably for an observer based on the fact he knows that there are vultures out. So that would be it. We're going to try to kill these spider mines that are getting laid all over the darn place. Maybe killing this vulture before he lays his spider mines would be good. Thinking about it, anyway. Maybe you don't actually die before you can... Alright, that guy's dead. XPFK, keep your dudes alive. We're going to call you XP from now on. That is too many syllables. 4 syllables is too much for your name. Sky is short. XP is short. Done. Consider it done. Additionally, did you know that I stream on Twitch? Twitch.tv/Falcon Paladin. I'm out there doing StarCrafty stuff. I'm out there actually playing Halo Reach right now as part of the Halo Master Chief Collection, which has been pretty fun, doing some co-op campaign with Somicron, my Australian buddy and podcast partner, Falcon Paladin Hour. If you want to search for that, too. Anyway, where are we? Engineering Bay on the way. Siege mode coming in for XP. None of this is a surprise at all. I mean, not going for a carrier rush, which is really hard to pull off, but I've seen it attempted before, so it's not impossible anyway. Yeah, Observatory coming in back on Protoss spell. Terran, just, this is what you do is you mech. You mech and you mech and you mech and you mech and you mech, because you can't go bio against Protoss because you will die to Storm and Reavers. And any kind of splash damage will destroy your Marines and your Firebats and your Ghosts and what else you want to make. It's reasonable, is what it is. Now, where are we with tech? That's about it, right? We've got missile turrets coming in. Maybe just get rid of observers that are trying to be pesky. And scouting on in to see exactly what the Terran player is doing. I mean, you come in here and you see multiple factories with machine shops, and you're like, yep, that makes total sense. It's not, I don't know, a battle cruiser rush, or it's not going to be some kind of a Marine drop. That'd be insane. Actually, you know what? I'm looking at this, and I'm like, a Marine drop would not be bad. Actually. Has that ever been tried? Every single PvT I've ever cast on my channel has just been mech from the get-go. I mean, a handful of Marines, maybe 4, maybe 5 at the most, but we never go into upgrades for those guys. Never go for drop ships. It's really just tanks and tanks and tanks and vultures and Goliaths, depending on what you want to do and depending on what the Protoss player is doing. So there's your Citadel of a Dune. Sky playing a little bit slower here today, I gotta say. Yeah, that's too fast. This is right. Ah, now I'm second guessing. This is faster. Okay. Goodness gracious, brain. Wait. That's too fast. We do faster here. Brain falling apart. Please bear with me. Doing this late at night. Had a long day. Ah, sad story. So my middle child, he did a good job earning money over the summer and into the fall for a Nintendo Switch. Which, yeah, he purchased it with his own money. I helped him out a little bit with Christmas money. But yeah, he got it on Black Friday, ordered it off of Amazon, came with Mario Kart, really excited about it. Supposed to be delivered today. And the delivery time was like, okay, 5:15. All right, so a little bit late, but no big deal. Then it went to 8:15, then 8:45. And then 9:15 is the estimated delivery time. And then they're like, just kidding. We'll get it to you tomorrow. I'm like, what? What the... Yeah, my kid is super upset. But it's a good lesson to learn, man. Sometimes life is disappointing. Perhaps that's even an often life is disappointing lesson. I don't know, man. He's not going to take it well, but when you're 9, things can be a little bit more dramatic than they otherwise would be. I'm comforting him, though. I do try to be a good parent every once in a while. Arbiter on the way. Got our Templar Archives, got our Stargate, got our Arbiter Tribunal, which means we want some Goliaths in the mix. We're into Goliaths, right? We're into Charon boosters, right? Right. I am second guessing myself so hard right now. It feels too fast. I wish that fastest and faster were not so darn close. That's way too fast. That's ridiculous. This is reasonably fast. I am just so terribly second-guessing myself right now. Anyway, not much has been happening. This has been a pretty passive first 10 minutes here. If any units died, I think a Vulture has died, and I think an SCV has died, and literally that's been it. Both players have been allowed to get onto 3 bases as fast as they want. This observer sees exactly what's going on with these factories. The answer is a whole bunch of Vultures and a whole bunch of tanks, and I don't see any Goliaths at all here, so he's not planning on dealing with Arbiters early, which might be a problem. Arbiters can cause a big time problem for Terran here. We're looking at Stasis in production here right now, being researched back at the Arbiter Tribunal, working on additional Arbiters in production there too. This is throwing me. Why is this throwing me so much? Whatever. We're going to do this. Charon Boosters is on the way, and then there's a Goliath in production. So there we go. A couple ones start popping out now, recognizing the threat of Arbiters. And here we go. Sky heading on from the top to the south. Spider Mine hit something. I don't know what it was. I don't think it killed anything, though. Marine says, if there's an expansion here, I'd like to know. At the very least, an army's here to deal with you. Another base is up for Sky, and it looks like he's trying to set up at the top right here, too. So he's just out macroing XPFK here like crazy. But, I mean, XP is totally fine being on 3 bases. Totally fine getting 100 million tanks out, working on his upgrades for his dudes. +1 is done now. And then just waiting until he's got a critical mass of tanks. And then just ramming it down Sky's throat here. Yeah, man, he really wants to set up a base on the top right here, too. He's got 63 probes to 73 SCVs. He's just kind of owning the map. There's really not much going on for XP other than a couple spider mines and a marine along this right side. And other than that, I mean, this is pretty much a purple map at the moment. Zealot legs are on the way. Once that's done, we'll probably start seeing maybe some aggression here out of Sky. But as it stands, he's not really going for it right now. Spider mines do get taken out thanks to the friendly neighborhood observers, of which there are a bunch of them right now. And I mean, XP is just... he's backed into a corner here. I like what Sky is doing. He's setting up outside of tank range. An EMP tossed down on those arbiters would be great, but here's your assault, man. Sky decides to head on in here, and I'm not sure I agree with this. Got a nice stasis on these tanks down below. Got all the tanks on the right side get wiped out, but the southern group is doing pretty well for itself here. Science Vessel taking some shots, just getting right on top of the siege tanks. The Vulture count is not quite high enough to handle this. This is a lot of Zealots. All of a sudden, can he handle it? He's trying to micro as best he can. The Zealots are fast. The Zealots hit hard. Okay, they have +1 armor. They're harder to kill than they normally would be. Look at them just jumping right on top of these tanks. And they're still here. They are still wiping out this third base. Sky just out macroed the Terran player here. He just had a humongous army, came in, took out a ton of tanks. Like, so many tanks went down. Missile turrets getting attacked here at the same time. And eventually, I mean, the army comes in just because we're producing, you know, 3 tanks, 4 vultures, and a Goliath at a time. Defender's advantage kicks in, but Sky decides to come into round number 2 from across the map. And the crossbomb just jumping right on top of these unsieged tanks, and the vultures, and the SCVs transferring at the worst possible time for them to be here. Although there is no splash damage from the Protoss, so I don't think it's that big of a deal. But good grief, we're just looking at Dragoons wiping out everything. XP is in a terrible way, but additional tanks show up. The Zealots are gone. The Dragoons do not want to engage without their Zealot buddies, and Sky's just been expanding and macroing behind this. He's at 72 probes now to 61 SCVs. He's actually taken the lead on worker count. I'm not sure he's killed many SCVs, but he's done a good job producing probes during that battle. So far, so good for him, and really this is turning into kind of a Sky shellacking right now. I was expecting a little bit better here from XP, but if he doesn't move out and get something done right now, he's just done. Gotta get it done, or he is done. Defensive Matrix up on this tank, trying desperately to keep it alive, but it ends up going down. Additional tanks on the ground with their +2 attack are pretty scary versus these only 1 armor Dragoons. Upgrades have not been actually all that fantastic out of Sky. He is working on +1 attack here at 15 minutes, but it's only +1 attack, so it's not going to be super useful, you know, +2, +3 for quite some time at the very least. XP, his third base, is happily up and running right now, and XP is moving out. He decides, you know what? Playing passive is not going to work out for me. Let's go ahead and move on out, set up some tanks, set up some more tanks, do a bit of a tank line here, so it's a little bit harder to just move into me with your Zealots. Vultures need to stay alive. And again, their +2 attack is really nice. They're working on +3 attack. EMP is now coming in. Seems a little bit late. You've had science vessels for a while. Dude, bring the guys up. Bring up your vultures. You need to keep these tanks alive, and actually not doing too poorly here. Zealot's getting eviscerated. Again, the upgrades benefiting XP extensively right now, and he does actually get enough breathing room to take a 4th base over here at the 3 o'clock position. So not bad. Not too bad. I mean, sure, Sky is happily sitting on 5 bases, but 4 basing Terran can handle a 5 basing Protoss. It's kind of like Zerg that way. You'd really need to out macro the Terran to beat them as Protoss, just because you're going to lose a lot of units to their extremely cost-efficient tanks, their Spider Mines, their Vultures. I mean, 5 kills, 7 kills on these tanks here. 3 on this dude out in front, and it seems like he's going to die first. If I had to guess who's going to die first, is the one who's not supported by anything, but he is unsieging and pulling back, so that's good for him. Super good deal. Alright, here we go again. Moving on in here. Tank count really high. I really don't know that Sky wants to handle this. Does he want to get in here or not? He certainly is. The Vulture's doing a pretty good job against the Zealots. Zealot count is going away very quickly, and now it's just a handful of Dragoons, and they very intelligently get the heck out of there. So not too bad, honestly, there. XP staying alive, taking the gas, at his 4th base here, and a 4-basing meching Terran with good upgrades. It's a pretty terrifying thing. Now, Sky's decided who needs Dragoons. At this point, let's just go 20 Zealots at a time. We've got the +1 attack. We have the +1 armor. Who needs anything more than that? Right now, though, I don't know, man. I don't think that XP has enough to handle that many Zealots. But he is producing more tanks. He's making Goliaths. He really wants to pick up that Arbiter if he can. EMP from one of these science vessels would be really nice, though. I assume one of them tossed something down recently because it doesn't have enough energy to do anything at the moment. And he's been around for a while. Has this dude. So, again, giant army. 200 supply to 165. coming in again for round 4 or 5 right now in the last 6 or 7 minutes. Huge engagement. Jumping on those tanks, trying to deal with the Dragoons as best he can. Nice stasis getting tossed down. EMPs are late here from XP, or used on worse targets than an Arbiter. But once again, there are just too many units remaining. There's a tank that is not stasised right now, but he's got the +2 attack. He's working on the +3 attack. 10 Zealots at a time in production. Sky is trying to break this Terran player, and he's not able to do it. This has just been so well played by XP. Sky, left side base, trying to take this for a 6th, which I'm a huge fan of. Probably should have expanded there a while ago. I mean, XP wasn't super mobile there for a bit, but now he is more mobile. Spider Mine, Zealots kind of walking into them, taking some serious shots. There are no Vultures here to protect. He's trying to bring back the supporting units. The tanks can't handle this all on their own. Wow, tanks are going down except for the ones that are in stasis. A small mercy there. EMP on a couple of the Arbiters. Arbiter energy is not very good on any of these 3 Arbiters in play right now. Continuing to push on down here is Sky right on top of XP. Tank count, I don't know if it's high enough, but you know what? Sky decides it's time to pull on back. He's worried about these tanks coming out of stasis soon. And once again, XP stays alive. Sure, he's down 40 supply, but his upgrades are kicking in. He's got the +3. He's got 85 damage per shot on that arc-light cannon. Dragoons only with +1 armor, with +2 attack coming in, but that is a ways off yet. He's just out macroing. He's just zerging right now, which is how you have to beat a Terran player. Is come at them again and again and again, kill as many tanks as you can, but the tank count never gets to an insurmountable count, and this is so bad. Where are the Vultures? Where are the Goliaths? Where is anything? These Zealots are tearing through the tanks as they are meant to do. There's nothing to stop them from doing it. Sky sticking around maybe a little bit too long. Tank continuing to fire from distance there. And Sky pulls back, 116 to 142 supply. So Sky always manages to stay ahead after those engagements. XP stays alive and is not losing any of his sources of income, which is a huge deal for him. However, it looks like Sky might be marching into that 4th base. Yes, he certainly is, coming right on in. And there's a missile turret firing on the Arbiters, but not doing super well about it. There's a liftoff on the command center. Actually using, wow, defensive matrix on a Vulture, which is not a bad idea. I mean, if he's in the front lines, why not at this point? Command center is going to stay alive. 148 to 120 supply. XP is coming back, continuing to produce Vultures and tanks all at the same time. Observer gets picked out of the sky here. Command center needs to go back. Needs to go back. Units need to come up and protect this, because your source of income right now as a 3-basing Terran is not enough. You need that 4th base. The SCVs are coming back already, and there goes the command center. So a little bit later, maybe a little bit worried about another attack here from Sky, but so far so good. XP got his tanks. His +3 tanks with +2 armor. Just big and beefy and strong. That said, the Zealots will tear them limb from limb with their +2 attack and their legs if given the opportunity. Where are these Vultures? Why are they always down here? Help out, man. Come flanking on up, and he is. Where are the stasises is the question. Goliath is trying to take down an Arbiter, but no, there's your stasis. There's the one, but man, Sky running away from it again. He's just jumping in over and over again to lower that tank count and keep it from getting up to like 30 or 40 tanks, because that is really hard to deal with even if you have Zealots. So he's willing to make these trades. He has the economy to support it. He's got the gateway count to replace those Zealots pretty instantly. And I'd say so far so good from Sky. He's up at about 55, almost 60 supply, making Dragoons, but largely making Zealots, keeping his Dragoons alive from battle to battle to battle. To some extent, although I'm noticing not many of these Dragoons actually have kills. Take that for what it's worth. Single Zealot harass on the right side. That gets shut down. And then Spider-Mine's getting some decent hits on these Zealots. Wow, they were all clumped up for that one. Arbiter goes down. Zealots trying to get on top here, but again, too many Vultures, too many tanks, and Sky gets shoved away. This has just been over and over again here. Sky has not been able to break this, not been able to straight up kill a base. He forced the temporary abandonment of this 3 o'clock position by XP, but that was it. He's coming back around, though. Yeah, that's what he's got to do. Coming around to the top side to this third, or this fourth, rather. Spider Mines, again, just really good against these Zealots. Problem is, some Dragoons came on in. A couple SCVs getting murdered in the meantime. Not sure where the Zealot is going other than a mine clearer. And bam, takes out a Vulture for his trouble, too. So not bad. Defensive Matrix Vulture there again. Guy on his bike, he ends up going down. Target fired, it would seem. But this tank, once again, shoving back the Dragoons. 182 to 125 supply. I mean, this is just, look how many gateways exist for Sky right now. He is in a great position to just make as much stuff as he wants. He's got a decent bank here. He's basically maxed out. I mean, XP's holding on, but I don't know how much longer he can do it, is the entire point. Sky coming back on in. This just feels like deja vu, man. This is just Sky coming in again and again and again and again. And you'll notice he's not winning these engagements. Where are his Vultures? I'm realizing. Oh, suddenly we're in trouble. And that is your good game. XP taps out. And Sky is your winner in 24 minutes and 57 seconds. Nice work by him, man. That was the little engine that could. That was persistence. That was slow and steady wins the race. That was just attacking into this same position, this trench warfare, basically, over and over and over and over and over, until finally he was able to break it. Finally, the Vulture count was essentially 0. The Zealots just having, again, a field day. Oh, I guess there were Vultures down here. The positioning by XP was a problem. He didn't have the Vultures up with his tanks more often than he did have his Vultures up with his tanks. And as a result, he wasn't able to deal with the Zealots as quickly as he otherwise needed to, and that just over and over caused him major problems. So Sky recognized, again, got to keep that tank count low, got to take the engagements, kill the tanks, and get out of there with as many Dragoons as I can, be macroing on the back end like a crazy person, and then just coming back again and again and again and again, and eventually you'll get something done. Good stasises from here and there. Not the best EMPs out of XP, and it kind of gave up on science of vessel production at some point, it seems like, and there you go. So, I mean, again, not a great player, xpfk, but he was able to hold several attacks from Sky here, and just overall, not a bad hold from somebody I've never heard of. So, wondering if he had a better career than perhaps I know about, or maybe this is the best game he ever played. Who knows? I certainly don't. But let's go ahead and check out that final score together before we get out of here for today. Looking at 206,000 points for Sky, 189,000 for XP. 340 Protoss units killed by XP is really nice. Lost, 317. Structures raised here, 22 by Sky. A lot of those are missile turrets and supply depots. And at the other end here, more gas mined by XP, but way more minerals mined, and about 15,000 more resources spent for Sky, which is a lot of Zealots and a lot of Dragoons, and just eventually that's going to be it. You're just going to be running to the ground, and this is exactly what happens. So nice job at the end of time. Hoorah! All right, well, that's going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.